The temptation with franchising is to start getting really excited about the concepts. And there's lots of awesome concepts out there that you can get really excited about, but we always want to start with your why. We want to document early on in the process, what does success look like for you as an entrepreneur? We always want to go slow so that we can go fast later. And documenting your why, documenting what success looks like for you, what are your compelling reasons for franchise ownership at the front end, is going to help us mitigate some of the volatility of the franchise discovery process. And so in order to keep a little bit of an equilibrium through this emotional process, we find a helpful tool is to document your why, understand what success looks like. And so when there is that moment of fear, you can go back to your why and say, does this franchise concept allow me to hit these compelling reasons? If the answer is yes, we're gonna ask you to stay in the boat. One of the ways that we're gonna help you work through franchise options is putting you through something called the Entrepreneur Profile. And FranNet, our consulting firm, we've been around for 30 plus years, and we've crafted and fine-tuned this personality assessment to pick up on things like what are your values and motivations, what's your leadership style, what's your sales aptitude and capability. And what this allows us to do with the database that we have is say, hey, client, here are your results. Now, here are 3 or 4 or 5 franchise concepts that someone who has a very similar profile to you has had a track record of being successful. And so it takes some of the guesswork out of it. We're not just throwing you our favorite concepts or the frozen yogurt shop of the day. No, what we're doing is allowing you to tap into decades-long data and success that can match you with compatible franchise concepts. Within the Entrepreneur Profile, the big thing that profile is going to pick up on are 4 different values and motivations. The first one is called an emulator. And what we see from emulators, they want prestige, they're competitive, they want to win, and they don't like being recognized monetarily and socially for the success that they bring to the table. They are heavy hitters who want to win, and they want to win big, and they don't care if you know about it either. The second profile is something called a belonger. Belongers are motivated by family, community, stability. They're typically pretty risk averse in the franchise setting. So versus an emulator, belongers are less willing to go with maybe an emerging or a new brand. They're really gonna value proof of concept versus creativity or being ahead of a trend. Achievers are the third value and motivation we see from an entrepreneur profile. And achievers, that's exactly what it sounds like. Achievers are very task-oriented. They don't care if a business is flashy. It can be restoration of a flooded basement, health and beauty. It can be pool cleaning. It can be lawn care. If it's profitable and allows them to be successful, they're interested. And then the fourth value and motivation we see are societals. Societals, again, very similar to what it sounds like. Societals, they want to change the world. They want what they are doing on a daily basis to make an impact. They want their product or their service to be highly effective because they are taking their value from the contribution they're making to society on a daily basis in their role. So once we understand what your values and motivations are on the Entrepreneur Profile, that's going to help us start to match you with the types of concepts that could be a good fit for you. We recently worked with an emulator. This emulator wanted something that is new. He's always asking what's hot, what's fresh in the franchise industry. And we placed him with a high-end, very fast-growing health and wellness and beauty franchise that he's running multiple locations of, bought the entire metro area, and he's really taking that empire-building mentality, bringing a new concept to market. On the other hand, we also just worked with an achiever. And the achiever was someone who was a little bit younger in his career, and he wanted something that allowed him to scale quickly, that was relatively low cost, and he didn't really care what it was. And he found that the best model for him was a power wash, window cleaning, gutter clean out business. Not anything that you as a kid dream of doing, but he saw the profitability in it, and he saw a fit, and he's running with that, and he'll be up and running here soon. I relate to the belonger profile pretty strongly. I live 10 minutes from where I grew up, and I coach high school football on the side of the alma mater where I grew up playing. And so I value community, I value stability, I value family very much in my career, and I've been able to carve that out. And on the societal side, I'll use my wife as an example. She defines success in her career as an 8th grade math teacher and the contribution that she's having in the lives of her kids. From day one in August to the last day of school in May, the impact she's had on those kids, and that's what keeps her coming back on a career basis year after year after year. Feel free to schedule a conversation in my calendar link, or if you'd like, you can shoot me a text or give me a call at 513-787-2170.